Here we go. We're back, guys. Welcome back to another First Play, the show where we get to struggle with the rules and you get to watch us learn them from home. Today, we're going to be playing Passing Through Petra, which is, I don't know if it's a reissue or whatever not, from Renegade Games. I think it came out in Europe and now it's been imported to the United States from Renegade Games. Anyway, I'm John.
Mike.
Ivan.
And without further ado, we got the setup pretty much going. We'll talk about a little bit more about the components and all that good stuff in the after part of that, which is where we kind of review the game. But for right now, just going through the rules. Setup is done. And now we're waiting on Mike to tell us what the board means.
So the rule book, it's printed in nice big type for us blind people, like old people that wear reading glasses and things. So it's pretty nice. It's themed, has its usual explanations and such, and it's not big. So I'm probably suggesting the mechanics are probably going to be fairly simple, the strategies hopefully involved. Okay. So what we're going to do to start with is we're going to describe the board so that we know what the components are, because we kind of look at this and go, huh? So understanding the various sections, we're going to go to the game board. Caravan. We have a caravan that the entrance to Petra is down here, and it comes in this way. Long line of trader tiles passes between the canyon wall pieces of the caravan. The section with the canyon walls on both sides is known as the SIQ, S-I-Q, in case you're wondering how they spell that. While the section with only the single caravan wall is referred to as the plaza.
Okay.
City grid, the 3x3 grid is the center of the game board is the city grid. Each side of the grid is associated with a particular action. See the 4 actions that are labeled there. Players move the merchant pawns around the grid to take actions. Progress tracks. There are 4 main progress tracks. Egypt, Rome, China, and India. Players have marker discs that move around the progress tracks. Passing certain spaces on these tracks give you bonuses and allow you to place influence cubes. Local trader track. This is also a progress track. Passing the bonus spaces on this track is how you gain more influence cards and camel tokens. However, on this track, there are no spaces that allow you to place influence cubes, which are, by the way, these square cubes that are sitting in the player board. Influence card row. 3 face-up influence cards at all times, which are available options along with the top card of the influence deck when any player gains an influence card. So you can take one of these when you gain an influence card or the top card.
Okay.
Villager card row has 3 face-up villager cards at all times, which are available options when you hire a villager. Player board, which are these little boards sitting alongside the main board. Each one is unique. What I noticed is that there are symbols along the top row that are different on each one. How they work is not quite explained yet, but below is breakdown of the sections. You have a market row. The area along the bottom of your player board is where trader tiles go when you take them from the caravan. They go on the bottom row. They enter at the left edge and are slowly pushed along until they exit at the right edge. So they enter the left and go to the right. Yeah. Settlements. This area above your player board has 5 virtual columns. When trader tiles are pushed out of your market row, they move to the matching settlement column. After being used in a market action, trader tiles in a settlement are returned to the bag. So market action is one of these actions over here. Trading partners. Each settlement column has an icon that indicates the trading partner for traders of that type. Each player's board distribution of trading partners is unique.
So these are these guys up here.
So the trade is the lower right hand of the octagon, the lower right hand symbol in the circle is trading partners. So my blue trades with purple.
Yeah. And my wine trades for clot. Okay.
And my wine trades for what we think is water.
So there's going to be some differences there, obviously. Worker spaces. There's a space below each settlement column where you can place a worker in order to initiate a market action. Workers remain where you've placed them, limiting your future market options until you take a separate action to recall them.
Okay.
Building spaces. When you acquire a building tile, you place it in the recessed space below any matching settlement column. Buildings produce camels, which allow you to move around the progress tracks faster. Influence cubes. The recessed spaces hold your influence cubes until you place them either on the game board or on the influence cards. So these cards, if you noticed, has a square spot, which, explaining the influence cards here, I think I should probably, yes, you place that. Now, these things have your usual if, and, or, plus, minus, equals kind of symbols that will have to be explained. They are objectives to have accomplished, and then you can place the influence token.
Okay.
But they're explained in the back of the book. There's apparently 4 different types, but there's a reference, so we can explain those. Now, we are ready to play, per se. Players take turns, beginning with the start player, proceeding clockwise until someone wins.
So we don't put one of our discs here?
We never had.
Because it said we move along this track, so...
It did, and we do have a spare disc, but who knows?
And I see a disc in the picture.
X.
Ah, so there is a space there. We missed a step.
That's okay.
On the X's. Yeah, on all of them, we just missed the track.
It's just because we were focused on that side of
Yeah.
the board.
Okay, so on your turn, carry out these steps in order. Move merchant pawn.
So you're first.
Well, hold on a second. Take local action. Complete influence cards optional. Refill the caravan as needed. So, when you move your merchant pawn, you move it 1 space in any direction. You cannot move your pawn diagonally. If your merchant pawn is already up against the side of the city grid, you cannot move it further in that direction. Take local action. Each side of the city grid is associated with one of 4 location actions. Carry out the action associated with the side of the city you have just moved your merchant pawn toward. So, obviously, if you move that way, you're taking a plaza action. You move this way, you're taking a sick action. You're a village action or a market action.
What happens if you're in a diagonal? You get to choose.
You cannot
if
move
you're-
diagonal.
No, you can't. But you could go
You can
here
move one-
and here, right? So if
You
you're
move
here,
1 space in
right? So this turn you
So
go here.
next turn.
you go here. What's your option here to be able to
1
do a
space
plaza?
adjacent. You can go to
or
a
the
market
village.
action or a sick action.
So you go to that. That's what you're doing.
Whatever direction you move towards is the action you're obligated to take. After taking an action, you may, but are not required to, reveal from hand any influence cards which you have completed and place an influence cube on it. At the end of your turn, check to see if the number of trader tiles in the caravan has fallen below the minimum threshold. If it has, draw new trader tiles at random from the bag, push them into the sick end of the caravan one at a time till it is full again. If the bag runs out, you may not be able to refill the caravan fully. Okay, so the plaza action. Take 2 trader tiles of your choice from among the 6 tiles in the plaza section of the caravan. Okay?
Do what?
The plaza action.
Yeah. Take
2
6
tiles, 2 tiles
Two tiles.
of your choice from among the 6 that are in the plaza.
in the plaza.
And where do they go?
Okay.
In here?
Add those 2 tiles to your market row.
So they're gonna push things out. Okay.
They're going to push 2 in either order, pushing them in from the left side. You may add them to your market row in either order. Their positions relative to each other in the caravan no longer matters. This will push 2 trader tiles out of your market row. Move the 2 pushed out tiles to your settlements, placing them in their corresponding columns by color. Finally, push the trader tiles in the caravan so there are no gaps.
So that's plaza.
So that's plaza. That's pretty simple.
Yeah, I just don't know what we do with tiles, but we'll get to
Yeah.
that.
The tile colors are going to matter, so you're going to want to.
Yeah.
So in the sick action, You take one trader tile of your choice.
This part.
Yeah. The
double-walled canyon, yeah.
You take one trader tile of your choice from among the tiles in the 6th section of the caravan. Add the tile to your market row, pushing it from the left side. This will push a trader out of your market row. Move that pushed out tile to your settlements, placing corresponding by color, and then push the caravan.
So it's a plaza action, but you've got more choice, less to pick. You get less.
You get
more
2
choice.
or 1. So if you're after a specific color, you can
Like
probably
if you
find it
wanted
in the
this purple
sick.
guy, you'd have to do a sick action.
Yeah.
Okay. Local actions continued. Market. In this action, you initiate a trade between groups of traders from your settlements to a number of group of traders from your market row. Each group of traders is looking to trade with a certain other group known as a trading partner, indicated by the small colored icon under the associated column at the top of your board. Okay, so in my case, I have the blue guys are looking to initiate a trade with the purple guys. That's what mine says. To take a market action, place a worker to choose a group of traders from your settlements that you wish to send to market. So if I wanted to send these guys to market, put it there. Place the worker on the space beneath that settlement column. You must choose a space that does not currently have a worker. Find trade value. Multiply the number of tiles in the chosen settlement by the number of tiles of their trading partner in your market. That number is the trade value.
Run that by me again. Number of tiles multiplied by what?
In the settlement times the trading partner's number of tiles.
In the
So
market.
2 times 1 is 2.
Isn't that the market, though?
Oh, in the market, yes. Okay, so it's 2 times the purple. It's still 1 is 1.
Oh. Oh.
So yes, you're trying to make combinations of how many you have up here with how many you have down here.
And this is all revolving.
Yeah. Okay.
Move the marker on the progress track for the tile type in the chosen settlement column. Move your marker disc clockwise a number of spaces equal to the trade value. You may spend camel tokens, returning them to the supply, to move additional spaces, 1 space for each camel token spent. As you move your marker disc on the track, there are several important spaces you may pass. Bonus spaces and influence spaces.
Over here, I think is what they're talking about, yeah?
Well, no.
Over there? Okay, all right.
Okay, so the colors match the tracks. So if I'm doing blue, I'm moving the blue track. If I take the green guy out, whatever color you put your token in is the track you're going to move.
Okay.
And then I'll discuss the spaces in a minute, but the last step of that action is to remove the settlement tiles, send the traders on the way, take all the tiles from the chosen settlement column, except any permanent ones. Those are considered permanent, so if you get a permanent one, you don't send them back to the bag. Take all the tiles from the chosen settlement column and return them to the bag. The tiles in your market row will remain where they are. Okay, so that's the action. But there are 2 spaces on the tracks. There's bonus spaces. Each of the 4 main progress tracks have a single bonus space, marked by the triangle. That's a bonus space. Once per turn, when your marker disc reaches or passes a bonus space, you gain the associated bonus. So this one gives you one of these things.
Yep.
That one gives you.
I'm not sure what the star
That one
is.
gives you one of those permanent.
Okay.
Yep.
That one gives you a building. That one gives you a building. That one gives you a gold trader.
Yep.
And this one gives you camels and influence cards, Petra influence cards. So in addition, whenever you pass a bonus space on one of the 4 main tracks, flip that marker disc so that it is active side up, showing the cube. On the local traders track, gain the bonus for every bonus space you reach or pass.
I think we're right. It has to be water because it's the desert. So
that's water. Also, the cup in there.
Look at it's a little.
I might take offense at Roman Empire apparently just wants wine, but yeah. We had plenty of water, to be fair.
All right. So once per turn, when your marker disc reaches or passes a bonus space, you gain the associated bonus.
Yeah, and they're on your little cheat sheet here. You can see them. Along with the trader tile, the track it represents, and the bonus.
Yeah.
Which one are these?
Okay, so I'm going to look at this progress track bonuses.
Oh, the places?
This is China.
Yeah.
This
Is that Greece down there?
This looks like India.
India, okay.
Okay, so
Maybe this
Turkey?
is Greece.
That's
there's an important step on those main progress tile tracks. They each have a bonus space.
I see that.
Except this one.
Yep.
Which has multiple bonus spaces.
Yep.
Each time you reach or pass a bonus space on a progress track, you gain the associated bonus. Yep. Important. Each of the 4 main progress tracks, you cannot gain the bonus more than once per turn.
So if you loop,
you're
only going to get,
So just so you know, no matter how many times you reach or pass it. But on the local trader track, you can gain multiple bonuses per turn. If you cannot gain a bonus because the supply is empty, or you cannot legally place the gained bonus, i.e. there's no permanent settlement or building because they're all in play, you ignore your bonus.
Okay.
Now, it does describe the things that you get from the different places. Okay, so we'll get back to that in a second. The other thing that's on the bonus track are influence spaces. If your marker disc is active, cube side up, because you flipped it from passing this. Mm-hmm. Showing the cube when it reaches or passes an available influence space, place one of your influence cubes on that space.
Okay.
Note, the numbers that are up there are game sizes. So the 4-player spots are not available.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what those numbers mean.
They're not bonuses, they're
Yeah.
So it's a max 4-player. Yeah, it's a max 4-player game.
Yeah. So then flip the marker disc back to the inactive side.
Okay.
It is possible to place multiple influence cubes in a single turn.
But not get multiple bonuses. Yeah. Okay.
Well, okay. So however, in a single turn, so if you're cube side up and you pass all of these, you can get them all. But if you hit one and you flip it and the next turn you go by, you're not going to get bonuses. So it's a big timing. There's a timing issue.
Yeah.
It's best to move through.
Once all of the track's regular influence spaces are filled,
that's for you.
Once their spaces are filled, and only then, an unlimited number of influence cubes can be placed in the large influence pool.
Oh, it must be this infinite one?
Infinite, yes.
Oh, that's not an 8. That's an infinite. No, I get it. It looked like an 8 to me. I was like, 8 players. Oh.
Okay, so that's the market action. That was all market action. So obviously right now, me or going to the market action would be 2 times purple. Gives me a whole 2 spaces to move.
Yeah, you want to load up.
You got to load this up or get them color coordinated to something. Anyway, all right, so the village action. In this action, you first retrieve as many workers from your player board as you wish.
Okay.
Returning them to your supply, you must retrieve at least 1 worker. So you can't take the village action until you have a worker on your player board. Okay. From the game board, hire 1 villager of your choice from the villager card row. The cards available to hire are the slots equal to or less than the number of workers you retrieved.
So 3 or more, 2 or more, 1 or more.
Correct. After hiring a villager, slide the remaining villager cards down away from the treasury to close the gap.
Cheaper.
Then reveal a new card from the villager deck and place it face up in the empty 3+ slot closest to the treasury. So how do you hire a villager? You just hire it. You get it. Okay, so the villager cards have symbols and descriptions of every villager and such. The symbols at the top of the villager card when you hire them.
Yep.
Immediate.
Permanent.
Apply the ability immediately upon hiring. Discard the villager.
Yeah.
Permanent.
So
place the villager in your player area.
No, that's
a star.
one time.
The star
Oh,
is
the star.
immediate.
Okay. All right.
The little circle, which means it's permanent. You can use it over and over and over again. Place the villager in your player area. You have that villager's ability for the rest of the game.
We don't have any permanents.
One-time use. Place the villager in your player area. Discard the villager on any of your terms to perform that ability.
So that's this.
Okay, so that discusses the villagers. Influence card cubes. There's only apparently, and we got what? 3 of the exact same type, didn't we? Okay, so as an example of what this is, have a building in India or China and have a permanent settlement in India or China. So you can have either or, but you must also have either or. So it's or plus or. So these are all the same.
It'd be wild.
Well, they have different locations.
Yeah.
But their function is the same. You match them up with the colors. So you have to have a permanent settlement in India or China on the one they show in this example. In this case, that's not the same there. Okay. There's 3 other types. Have 3 of your influence cubes in Rome, or the appropriate color that's on the card. Have an equal number of cubes in the 2 colors, influence cubes. So sometimes you may not want to place a cube.
Yeah.
And then this fancy 4-1 here says have an equal number of influence cubes in the south, India plus Egypt on this one, as in the north. Must have at least 1 in each pair of regions.
So north, south, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Have an equal number.
This is India.
India and Egypt is the south.
Yeah.
And the north is China and Rome.
Yeah.
Have an equal number of influence cubes in the south
Mediterranean
as in the north.
These.
Must have at least 1 in each pair of regions. So you can't score. Yeah, that's what the 1 symbol means.
Okay.
But otherwise, they need to be equal. So you can have 1 in the south, 1 in the north, 2 in the south, 2 in the north, whatever. But you must have 1 in each. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So
that's the same for this other equal. Must have
equal number.
1. Must have, okay.
Rome and Egypt. In this case, it's Rome and Egypt, but it could be any color that you.
Any combo.
Any combo of colors. Who knows? Okay. End of the game. Game ends immediately as soon as the player has placed their 9th influence cube.
Okay. As soon as any player. So if any one of us gets the 9th one.
Okay, so you don't have to reveal these until you complete them. But then you have to reveal them to prove that you've done it. So progress track bonuses. Egypt, take a market extension, place it at the left end of your market row. It makes a longer market row. Take one of these.
Oh, that's what those are. Okay.
Market extensions.
Oh, nice.
Well, then you can get 7 of the same color in a row and have a bigger multiplier potentially, or have more. Okay? That's Egypt. That's the orange. Blue, permanent settlement tile of your choice. China, red, take a building tile, add it to your player board below any settlement column that does not already have a building. When you place a trader tile, but not a permanent settle, in that settlement column, take 1 camel token. So each building can only produce 1 camel token per turn. So you can produce camels if you have buildings in your place.
And you also need them for these combos.
Sometimes, yeah. Like these particular ones, you need a building, or no, you need building and
a permanent settlement.
And a permanent.
Yeah, those are the permanent settlements.
Yeah, I got it.
India, purple. Take a gold trader tile, immediately push it into your market row. Move the tile that gets pushed out of your market up to your settlements. Gold trader tiles count as a trader type of your choice during a market action.
Nice.
When a gold trader tile is pushed out of your market, return to the supply. Permanent settlements, by the way, work just like any of one of these, only they go on the bottom of the stack, and you can only have a maximum of 1 per color. on the permanent. I need to mention that. That's in here. Permanent settlements do not trigger buildings. So you don't get a camel if you place your permanent settlement. Local traders take a camel token for each camel space you reach or pass. You may use the camels immediately to move further on the local traders track, or save them for a future turn. In addition, take 1 influence card for each card space you reach or pass. For each influence card, you may choose a card from the face-up slot or take the top card of the influence deck. If you take the face-up card, immediately replace it with the top card of the deck. And I think that pretty much takes care of it.
So how do we win? We end the game when the 9th one's done.
And
Is
the
that
scoring,
just the
he
winner?
just said the scoring done. Wasn't that the scoring over there?
Game ends immediately. The player wins the game when you place your 9th token.
So the goal is
The total goal is to place
out.
the first one to run your 9
So what
influence
was all
tokens.
that mumbo jumbo? Turn those at the bottom over there. I didn't catch what that was for. Does that
These?
bonus? Yeah.
That's what
It's
he
to
went over.
put one of these on one of these cards to get rid of them off.
Okay.
You don't score anything, you get a cube off. The
That I
idea is to
get,
get all
but I
9
don't
cubes off.
see like. So when you meet those conditions, you can
Put a cube on your card.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if I take this.
Okay. All right. Understood.
Yeah.
You were
These
just
are
saying-
these are obviously going to be much harder to do.
First turn for sure. Yeah.
Well, you don't have any permanent settlements in the first place, or buildings.
All right.
So everybody's going to be drawing off the top of the deck when they get
So
one.
if I read this correctly, then what I do here is
You're going to
take
take
2.
2 of your choice and slide them from left to right on your market.
And then this moves
Boom.
up.
And the 2 that you push off go up top.
Okay. Okay. And now he's done. I'll go get coffee.
Complete your influence cards. If you're optional, refill the caravan.
So
Refill the caravan.
So
Bag.
because it said if you, is it always refill the caravan?
Always
or is
refill
it-
the
okay.
caravan. As needed.
As needed.
Each
Okay.
person's turn, at the end of each person's turn, refill the
I
caravan.
thought earlier you said like if it's meets a number. Okay.
Meets and
If it's always, it's always. So
at the end of every player's turn, the last thing we do is refill the caravan.
so this is always going to be full.
For the next player.
This, yeah.
For the next player, not for somebody that does weird stuff.
So then it would be me.
Correct. So, what am I doing here?
I have a question. If he was over here and he moves this, does he?
You move only one space.
Okay, so if he's next turn, if he moves up here and does a village action, so he's here.
Yeah.
He can do. He can't do another village action because it's at the end. But he could do.
And he cannot do a plaza. Doesn't do
sick
2
actions.
sick actions. He blocked from moving the direction you want.
Oh, you can't move in the same spot as another person.
No. You get up against a wall. You
Okay.
can't take that action.
Okay.
Or actions. If you're in a corner, you cannot take 2 of the actions. You're restricted to other 2.
yeah, I can't go to market.
No.
Like if I want to go to market, I have to spend a turn doing.
Yeah.
something
But
else.
you also
Or-
can't go to plaza again.
No.
This turn.
You
gotta
cannot
go
take,
against
you
the-
cannot take another 2
So if I
plaza
go
actions
here, I
in a
go
row.
against. I go to village. If I go over there, I go to the.
Sick. When you're up against the wall, you cannot take that action.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Technically, always against the wall.
Well, we start in the middle.
Yeah.
So we get any one of the 4.
Yeah, and then you gotta move around.
But we can't take a village action on the first turn because we have no villagers in our spot. So nobody can take a village action at this time. Because in order to place a villager, you have to take a market action.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to take the market before the village action. So pretty soon you can get yourself forced into. If you were in this corner currently,
You can only take a village.
you cannot take a village action. You have no workers.
Oh.
So you can only take a market action, and you would take a really small market action.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what you're forced to do. That's what you're forced to do. I mean, that's kind of the way it is. So, your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna take a plaza action 2.
Just move to the
Trying to
pond.
decide what I want to take. Take 2 waters.
They're not water.
They're not?
No.
It could be oil, but I think he's right. I think it's water.
Well, that
They're water.
the little water symbols, but their location, they're settlements. They're not resources; they are settlements.
Well, they're trading.
That's a local trader settlement.
Yeah. So he's locally trading water.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, yeah, they do have the resource symbol in the center.
Fill up the queue, guys.
And that guy
Yeah, I got him.
kind of drunk over there.
He's not flying, is he?
And that's my action.
And I will join you.
Replenish. Okay, so if I go here, I do absolutely nothing.
No, you have to take a market action.
You're moving towards a market, so you do a market action.
Towards a market.
In which case you take one of these columns that has guys in it times the number of in your market area of the matching color, and you get
it's
that
where you go
space in it.
towards.
You get that.
Okay, so I'm gonna go towards the
The sick.
sick.
And you get one of your choice out of the sick area.
Want me to help you?
Please, I need that guy.
Okay. What was the village action again? We don't have any villagers.
You can't do a village action.
Yeah.
You have
So
to do a
you have to
market
do market
action
action
before you can
first.
do a bit. Village allows
You
you
can
to
do multiple market
get one of
actions.
these guys,
You
right?
need to
But
have-
you gotta have
You
3, 2, or
workers.
1.
You have to have at least one worker
Yeah.
there, and those workers are placed
Now,
via the market action.
what I'm seeing here, that's your choice. So if you have 2, you can choose this one or this one.
Correct. So you may not want that guy, and you may have
Yeah.
to do multiple market actions before you get to a villager you want to hire.
I know your game. Just had folders and you mixed in a little potting soil. I got you.
Daddy.
What is it?
So I'm also going to do a sick action. I'm going to take this guy. Wait, no, not that guy. I want this guy.
Okay.
One thing for pay $4.
Kind of hard to grab these in the sick.
Yep, it is.
Looks like you just have a combination that you never like recreated the game. You just roll the dice. Yeah.
Okay.
And you might want to push those out of the way because you're gonna build up. And Mike's doing the same thing.
yeah.
Following me.
It seems to be the
Well, you gotta
obvious
stack
choice
them
at
in order
first.
to.
Yeah. I mean, I could have done a market action and got some workers.
Yeah. Let's do it this way.
So let's try this market action thing now that Mike's done.
Tri- So you place your worker in one of your spots.
So-
It has to have a settlement above it.
So that would be 3 times 3. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
9. So that's gonna be this track.
On the red track. This track.
Ah, okay. So I did this wrong. Sweet, awesome. Every fracking time. Okay. So.
Well, you're going to end up doing that track eventually anyway.
Yeah, I know. All right. So Yes. Okay, so these go. So this flips over.
No,
No.
no.
Once you
Okay.
get to here, it will.
So that's 9 though. So this would move 9 spaces.
1, 2, 3, 4, and then flip over.
4.
And then he gets this.
He gets one of those.
Which I don't remember what they do yet, but I'm sure.
Camel. It generates a camel.
Camel. Okay.
You put it in one of the spots.
Does he have to decide now?
Well.
Take a building tile, add it to your player board. Below any settlement column that does not already have a building. When you place a trader tile in that settlement column, gain 1 camel token from the supply. So if you're looking at what's going to place next, it would be green.
Yeah, but what is this a different color? Doesn't matter.
Oh, that's not supposed to be in your thing. So
That's
he's over here.
yeah. So I need just a regular. If you
He
could
needs a
try-
purple.
Yeah, a regular.
Was it a purple guy?
It was the same as this.
Oh,
No,
no.
no,
it was
no,
a
no,
blue
no.
guy.
It was a blue guy.
You have to find one out of the bag. Can't take it from the...
Okay. I'm going to have to look at the bag.
Just keep drawing and then toss them back in.
Well, find a blue one.
Yeah, we just need it. There we go. That's all I need. Perfect. So now
Yeah, the
it's not
one
a
with
permanent.
the starlight
Yeah,
over
yeah,
the top
yeah,
of
yeah,
it. Or permanent.
Somehow it ended up in my thing, so I didn't want to cheat. So logically, it seems like I want to put it here because that's going to
Here's another
score
one.
first. So replace it with just a regular one.
Did you see which type it was?
Yeah, it was the wine guys again.
Is there any other star guys? No. Thought I got these all separated.
Because it feels like this is going to come here and I'm going to score it first. And it's
It has nothing to do with scoring.
Yeah,
it has
well,
to do with
yeah.
placing a tile above. And if you place more than one, you can pick which one. But you only get 1 camel.
Of course, I don't have really any traders with that. Any trades with that. Huh, interesting. Okay. All right, maybe I'm doing this all wrong, but that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and I did 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Yep.
and I can drop
So you get in,
1, 2, 3.
Yep.
So you're back here and flipped over. It was a pretty darn good turn, I think.
I don't know.
Well,
I
yeah, it
have
says this
no
game
frick-
plays in less than an hour.
Yeah, I have
Once you've
no
got, once you
frickin'
know what
idea.
you're doing, it boom. So you're finished with your market action.
I can't do it. These go.
Those go away. Those 3 go away. Back in the bag.
Okay. So I'm also going to do a market action. Place my worker here. And it's 2 times 3, so it's only 6. Not a big whopping 9. And I'm moving in Rome. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 1 influence token.
If you want. I don't think you have to.
I don't see why I wouldn't.
Well, you
'cause
gain a permanent settlement.
Yeah, I get a permanent settlement of my choice.
I'm going to check, but probably you can only have 1 of each, though. Of your choice. Place it in your settlements. Permanent settlements work like it's a multiplier.
So I'm gonna do this guy because I'm gonna
And you-
be loading him up. It's hard to tell the permanent settlement on this color because it's purple and purple. And then these go in a bag.
You can tell by the big highlighted or the outline
Yeah.
silver border.
Okay. And that's my action, right?
Yep. Market action for me too. We're following each other around. I'm going to do this one, which is 2 times purple, which is 8.
Nice. I'm getting swamped. So
8.
You're brown. 8.
And I'm going to spend 2 camels to make it 10.
Oh, you can spend the camels to.
Yep. I want to move 2 more spaces. Right there.
So you
do
drop
want
an
to place
influence?
your influences?
Yes. All 3 of them, please. I get a permanent settlement, which I want to be green.
What else can you use the camels for?
That's it.
Just
Plus one
okay,
movement.
moving them. Okay.
Plus one movement on the influence
I
track.
am going to move towards the village and purchase the master trader.
What does he do?
During a market action, traders of this type, so these guys, in your settlements may trade with any type in your market.
Oh, okay.
So,
Pretty useful.
yeah, I mean, you can basically make this score with anything you want over here kind of situation.
Yeah, I mean, people, like, you can find third-party places that will sell different kinds of decals.
There's another master trader.
And it goes vice versa. You can make these guys trade with anybody up here.
Okay.
It says any type of traders in your settlements. These are settlements?
No.
Settlements
Settlements
on
are
the
up here.
Okay.
The market is down below. The settlements are above.
It says or. So either way. All right, Mike.
Okay. But does it have to match the symbol you have?
Not my turn. It's his turn.
These can swap. So if they're in here or they're up here,
Yeah.
they can. So
They can trade with anybody.
they're either gonna go up here. So I want to do a market action from here to trade up here, or vice versa. The two that are up here can trade with somebody down here.
And do you keep your worker there, or do you remove
No,
your
the
worker?
village worker has to, yeah, you may, I believe, in a village action. Well, you had to, I think, when you, or maybe not.
Okay.
Village action,
I think it says you have to retrieve one.
you must retrieve at least one, as
You
I
just
recall.
passed it.
You must retrieve at least one.
Okay.
So the question is, when you go to market, do you score each one that's up here, or just
What do you mean each one? You only do one.
so when you go to market, it's
Whichever
the
one you
put
place
down?
is the one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So there's no point to leaving this here.
There is if, well,
No, you don't want to leave it there. You want to retrieve it so you can use that. mark
Apart
off.
from you have to, is there a point to leave it here?
yes.
What is the point, Mike?
If you had three,
Sure.
you only had
Okay,
to remove
great.
two. You can leave the other two sitting there so that you can have better
Right.
villager
Got
purchase
it.
options.
Also, you can't do a market action for that row if you already have a worker there.
Right,
I know, but if it's blank up here, you can't do it anyway.
Yeah.
It's 0 times something.
That's his current setup, yes.
Yeah. But to answer your question, yes, there could be if you had multiples. But since you have to take one,
Okay.
I'm done, by the way.
Yeah, I'm thinking. What was the market action again?
You place
Just that.
one of your guys over here, and you score that.
Okay, we just did.
You
market
just did a
action.
market
The village action is what you just did. You bought a villager
bought a
and
card.
returned a worker.
And you have the ability to buy this one if you wanted to, because you
Yeah,
have
I got
one.
the one worker.
And then you have to retrieve that one.
I get 3 camel tokens, which is nice. And then it would give me the option to go any way I want.
Ah, I think I understand how this card works. We'll find out. Complicated.
I'm gonna go and actually do.
So, question for you, Mike. If you build one of these, right,
it's down on your market action, not your settlements.
down here,
Your row becomes larger. So you could have more of a color in there to multiply against.
but it's also one more that it takes to push something out.
Well, I think it goes on your left end, but
I think I'm gonna do a plaza action.
That's the question, right? I mean,
left end.
okay, so doesn't lengthen this; it just adds
It does.
more. Yeah. Well, yeah.
It makes it a 7 long market row.
So you want to do a market? Is that what you did?
No, I was thinking I wanted to do a plaza, but that's going to push my traders too far. I'll do it. I'm going to do the plaza action. I'm gonna take these two guys. That's me.
Yes. It's right around the corner, right here. Have you played before, or are you just starting now? Just starting now. Okay. Yeah. So we're looking for
All right. I am going to go towards the plaza and pick up 2. What do I want to pick up? Let's do.
This is the starter kit. I'm not sure if you. Yeah, we already have that. Oh, got more. Okay. I got you. Yeah, so we have information back there.
Not 100% certain I understand how this works, so we'll try this.
Yeah.
You're up, Ivan.
Okay, I'm going to take a village action. Instantly get 3 camels, and this goes to discard, wherever discard is. And return that book.
Well,
A jeweler.
that'll
Take 1 gold.
that will instantly make me do a village action because I want that card. 2 trader tiles from the sick.
Okay. So, questions here. Doing a market action, traders of this type in your settlements may trade with any type in your market. Okay? So I could choose these guys to trade
No,
with
in your settlements.
these guys to trade with anyone over here.
Apparently, that's what it says.
During a market action, traders of this type in your settlements may trade with any type in your market.
Correct.
So I could do this.
3
and
times
this.
4 is
Where
12.
does the trade go? Here
Blue,
or here?
the ones you're
In
going to
the
remove.
settlement, yeah.
Okay. Or any type of traders in your settlements may trade with traders of this type in your market. Discard. So then it goes.
So the blue ones down below can trade with anybody up top.
Any type of traders in your settlements
Yeah.
may trade with traders of
the
this
blue
type,
type.
in your market.
Okay.
So any type of settlers here can
No. It says,
read the or.
I understand, but you're looking at them backwards. Any type of traders in your settlements, any type of traders in your settlements may trade with traders of this type in your market, the two blue ones.
Okay.
So the blue ones have to be on one side or the other of the trade.
any type
but
of
that was
trade.
the or I just read.
Yeah. So
It's blue on either side.
these guys could trade with the brown guys.
You have to use
Or
blue on one side or the other.
Purple or teal could trade with the blue.
It's really very simple. It's blue on either side of the trade. Or on both sides, for that matter.
Yeah, I guess they could trade with themselves.
Yeah, two blues down below can trade with the three blues up top if you wanted to, or if you were trying to get to green, the two blues can trade with green.
Yeah, if you needed to move.
If you're trying to move the green track, if you're trying to move a particular track, but currently, if you use that action over on this column, they're pretty much going to shut down the blue advance. It's going to probably be filling it all up, marching. Well, not quite, but because already that space is no longer available.
Mm-hmm.
So blue got used by a couple of us real quick.
So these ones are easy to do. Then we get to the harder ones, which are going to be these cards. And then once these are filled, we only get one chance for moving along there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you can. So that's a market master of blue. This one's a market master of green.
And there's one red.
Market master of red.
So I can't do a plaza.
Or a village.
Why can't I do a village?
Because you don't have any workers.
Okay. I can still move there. I can't do it because of the workers. Okay. So that leaves me with a market or a Q or sick or whatever that. From here, I read QIS, not the other way around.
That sounds Roman. QIS.
Trade with junk there.
Or sorry, Latin.
Could go to market and not score a lot. What do they trade with? These guys do with nothing, so that'd be just two. Or that guy trades with.
You could use your master trader for your market.
I don't want to use my master trader.
Not yet. Okay.
So you're doing a sick action? Is that what you just did?
Well, that's what I'm thinking about doing. I'm just looking at. If I can't do a plaza, market isn't very advantageous right now. So sick it is.
So what do you want?
A blue guy is going to kick a blue guy off and put a blue guy on. So why wouldn't he? He has a market master for blue.
Yeah.
Yikes, that's going to be a huge circle around a blue track if he does it that way.
Okay. I'm also going to do a sick action. Oops. Knock everybody over. And I want one of these dudes.
Market action for me. into purple times red is 12 on the purple track. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and it's active.
It's active. But you don't get another, you don't get 2 of these.
No, I get 1 bonus.
Yep.
So, and 3 cubes out there. And the purples went away, but this purple got pushed off by the bonus. So those purples go away. $16, huh? You gonna do it that way, or you gonna go to 8? Are you gonna go? He wants to be on the purple track times 2 movement.
2 movement, yeah. Okay.
I'm going to also mark it. And then the big on the purple track. It's 4 times 3, 12. So you move 12, right? So I've been in the same spot as you are. These guys.
It's to me.
Mm-hmm. So purple's pretty well full. Yeah, 1 more of these, and then we can start adding there.
I'm going to go to the village. Take the master trader red.
I'm gonna do village and take the jeweler. It says instant, so that goes to discard, but I get another gold.
All right. Market action for me. The greens are going to trade with the reds with the wild card, so 4 times 5 is 20.
Okay.
2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Right back
So
there.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4 camels. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. These guys go away. What track am I on? Purple and blue.
I didn't fill this list. Can you push the purple guy down a bit
Okay.
Down a bit.
towards me? There, I got it.
So blue and purple have equal amounts of my guys? They do. So there's a completed influence card.
You can do those at any time.
At
right?
any time, as many as you want. I see.
So they can trade at anybody they want, right?
Blue and blue, but you move on the blue track.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, I'm gonna get rid of this. Village action.
So it's actually advantageous to do it with themselves,
No, that was a market action I did. Yeah, okay.
right?
Yeah, you have the most combos.
It's
So that would be 16 there.
if you want to do 16 moves.
Well, yeah, I want to be able to move around the track and drop off cubes.
Mhm.
So, okay, so these go away.
Well, let's move you around the track first.
Okay.
16, right?
Yep.
On blue.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go.
3, 4, 16. Okay, so
So you went around twice.
that's now inactive.
Oh, yeah.
So
You get one of these of your choice.
one, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. You get 4 cubes out.
And where does it go?
So the first time around,
Matches the
you
color
put
at the
your-
top.
Oh, that yeah.
Yeah, it goes on the. But it goes in a place where you won't. Where you don't put it back in the bag. So it's.
Okay.
First time around, you get 2. No, we don't run a 4-player game. So you did there
I didn't see the 4 on there.
and there. And the second time around,
And you get the 3+
get
and the
this one.
infinity.
Yeah.
Now only infinity can be placed on that track.
Yep.
Me, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a market action. I'm gonna
Place your worker.
place my worker. Trade these guys with the wild cards.
They don't go away. They stay.
Oh, and this gets discarded, right? I used it to trade with myself.
For 4 on the brown track, and I'm going to use 2 camels to make it 6.
Okay.
So I get a bigger thing.
And you get to put 1 here before it flips over.
Put 1 there. Yeah.
Yep.
This should also be flipped. Yeah.
Yes.
And because I did that, I can have equal on brown and blue, so I can do that. And that's my turn. I see how this goes. Yeah, it'll be quick too. Once you're
Yeah, it's
you're used. Like our
I
second
don't-
time around, we've been going.
it was closer to. I was delayed by a couple of turns by misunderstanding that card.
What does the scribe do?
The scribe, take 1 trader tile from the plaza to take 1 influence card, either from a face-up slot or from the top of the influence deck.
Okay.
Useful early on, I don't know how useful it is now.
Yeah, we're at the end of the game. We just want to get these
Yep.
tokens out. He might be finishing soon.
Yep. I'm going to move towards the village and buy this master trader.
We have to pass the Petra to get these two, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I moved it over. Okay, I'm going to do a plaza action.
So you have an extra space. Stop.
Oh, yes.
Stop. You have an extra space.
So only one of those guys.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Should be
Well, if I've
stopping it. At the
done
top.
this correctly, this should finish the game. Let's see. I can take a marker action. 2 times 4 is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And place there and there.
Yeah.
That's not understanding that card is what cost me the game, because that all I needed to do is go around the block once, and I would have been okay with that. That was what I needed to get rid of. So instead I had to do one extra turn of freaking dealing with the blue guys instead of vice versa.
That's okay. It is a very simple game.
Yeah.
We
It's,
can get into the actual what we think of the game. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. That's Petra. And if you want to stay tuned for a couple of minutes, we'll do the quick review of what we think of it. Got finished playing Petra by Renegade Games, and we're going to give you your quick rundown of what we think. Ivan, you want to start?
It's very simple mechanic after you play it the first time. So if we played it again, we'd be flying through. It's a lot of planning your turns ahead, and something we didn't do when we played, blocking the other person.
Yeah.
So we didn't take the tiles that we thought you would have wanted or he would have wanted. We didn't do that.
I don't know how effective of a strategy it is, but I get what you're getting at, right?
Yeah,
Kind of
and that
situation,
could be
because
a
it's
thing
like
to do.
Mike's gonna win that. If you take those tiles away, can you
Yeah.
make it long enough for it to come down to you? Because you're wasting your turn by stopping somebody else.
yeah, if I had to take one more turn before doing that, you would have beat me to the punch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
I
just
saw it
like
coming.
Yeah, it was literally me or you, and that was the sort of the frustrating thing of not understanding how that card worked. Great, I know now. Moving forward, right? That's kind of thing. So, Mike.
I think that the basic setup can be longer than the game.
Yeah.
It was, I think.
So here's
Well,
the
it
thing.
can be. I mean, sure, you know what the setup's going to be when you put it out, but the game can go very quickly. So if you want to play multiple games in a sitting, I don't know what it. I don't
This
know what
is
it
almost
said.
like-
What did it say?
I feel like this would be played multiple in a setting.
You know what this looks like to me at this point? Like an advanced in-between game, right? You just got finished playing a long game. You want to play another game, but you're going to play something in the middle to kind of cleanse the palate. And I've seen those kind of games before. It's just weird because it's a board game. Like, it's not like one of those quick, like, let's play a couple of round the cards or whatever. Not.
But I can see it. It's at the end of your board.
There is no scenario / strategy / replayability relative to games. It's going to play the same way every time. It's a matter of whether you solve the puzzle quicker than the other person's.
Yeah.
That's
And luck.
simple
And
as
it's
that. Well,
so it's not going to be a game that lends itself when you have, like, let's pretend like you have one person or two people that know the game and you have the new player. That new player is pretty much done. You know what I mean?
I don't see that there's any luck involved in this.
So these cards that come out.
Maybe, but there are some random elements to it, and the
you
queue.
see what they are, though, so you can.
Yeah. These felt unattainable to me.
If you're out of position,
Like it felt like this would take too long compared to what I had in my hand.
These are the harder ones to do, and we just
I just ignore them entirely.
Right,
I can see that they were useless.
If I look at this game's being the same benefit, I get rid of one cube. For those guys that didn't watch the first play, you literally the objective is to get rid of your influence, right? Yeah.
Have any cubes on that track and you get rid of one.
But I couldn't because I misread. I was like, oh, I'm set up. I'm going to score this right now. Oh, no. You got to do this stupid bloody track.
Yeah.
Right? Which I should have gotten under camo when I did that because there was a building. Not that it matters. It never got around to me kind of situation, right? So misreading that is what caused a one-turn delay, really. That and having to move, you can't just go where you want to go sometimes, right? Because I don't want to go to market. I don't. I need to get more of these cues. So it's an odd game in that sense. Like, it's not long enough to really feel like a full research.
I wish we had more influence so that you could get a bigger strategy going.
Sure. Yeah. It's definitely over quick. And so the components are cute. I like the quality of them, with the exception of literally we had one of these walls, one of the retaining pieces snapped.
Yeah.
The second mic, he didn't even try to put it on the board. He set the piece down. What the heck are those supposed to be for? Anyways, we didn't even use them.
It looks thick.
What?
Those are just...
That's the things that came out of the cardboard.
Oh, okay. They're just trash. So this trash. And it's cute. You know, if you guys know what Petra is, it's this hidden city in a canyon. It was a big trading point. So the idea of they have to go through this narrow canyon to get to, and you can't change their order, etc.
And like these would be built in the side.
Yeah, it is cool and it's evocative. I don't know. It's a quick game, fine, but it's got to be a quick game among people that know it, right? Because if you take like somebody that doesn't, that person has to accept the fact that his first game, he's gonna, until he gets, because literally you can set this up to where turn 2 or 3, you pretty much got the game, right? Like you have your, I see what I'm going after, right? Based on this card. And what everybody else is doing, you know, what they're taking, what they're not. So,
and it could be frustrating for everybody else with the one new person too.
Yeah, I don't want to diss on it. The only thing I'm going to diss on is definitely the components. The plastic. This needs to be a little bit sturdier. Maybe we just got a bad one.
Maybe it looks thicker than.
Well, the tolerances are too tight on these walls going into the.
Yeah, and we also
the cardboard. They made the. There's clips on the bottom of these walls.
Yep.
I hesitate to pull it, but I'm going to get one off.
I'm going to put it away anyway.
Yep.
I'm going to get one off, and hopefully it won't snap. The tolerance.
And maybe with time, that gets a little bit easier to do.
So the tolerance that this slides under the cardboard is very tight. And that's going to risk more of them snapping off. And I didn't even snap one off when I put it into the board.
No, you
I just set
it.
I set it down like that, and the piece broke right off.
Yeah. So maybe we just got a bad batch there.
But I think that you can make these work even if they do snap off, because they'll still land on the spots.
As long as you're gentle with the cue, because you're basically, as you play the game, you're pushing things to kind of slide off this way, right?
I wish there was a stop here. As I kept pushing.
Yeah,
it kept inching further and further out of the.
I mean, you could try to solve that by just doing this. I didn't see much of a need to have this back here. I get it; those are your discard. I mean, your draw piles and stuff like that. But yeah, it's an okay game. Not gonna sit in my top favorites. I would say for people that like that sort of like
casual, quick game.
Yeah. It's not bad. Just with the caveat, you need to play it a couple of times to really enjoy it and not feel like...
Once you spend all the time organizing and setting it up, you might want to play multiple times.
Well, you're going to have to if you want an actual game. Like Mike said, there is a danger that your setup time is going to be longer than your actual playtime. Not necessarily a bad thing. You want a quick game, it is a quick game, right? I mean, so it just, with all this rigmarole and all the setup, we felt like it was going to be like some kind of longer thing.
I think also if you know the game, then it can be something of, well, half my game night left and everybody else is really tired, but we're not ready to go home. This I can play tired after you play it once. The first time, don't play it tired.
And I wonder, yeah, definitely. I wonder, because there is thinking. It's not like there isn't strategy as far as what you're going to do. There's also something to be said, we didn't talk about it, but like, if I'm eating up all of these, it's kind of foolish for somebody else to try to go after these, especially if I have the
there's multiples of each color.
Yeah.
I understand. But right, when you look at your queue,
Oh well, yeah.
you know, so there's some of that. I see that in Splendor where people go, oh, I want white, you want white, and they get in a bidding war of who's going to get to that first versus Mike's going, well, shoot, I got all this other stuff available to me. I'm just going to go for that. So, all right, guys, that's our honest feedback and review. Anybody got anything to add before we close it? No? We're good?
No.
Do we want to do a thumbs up, thumbs down if we...
Wow. This one's a tough one for me because where I'm at in my playing stage, I have other types of games that are in between games that are sillier, less stinky. So I think I would give it a thumbs down based on that because I don't feel like it's a lengthy game that I'm going to sit down and enjoy that much. But I don't feel like it's quick enough or just mindless enough that I can play it as in between game or like I don't feel like thinking, let's just play something for fun. You know what I mean?
I think I'm in the same boat where I either play with people that want to do a long, in-depth strategic game, which this doesn't meet, or who want to do something simpler than this.
Yeah. So it's just an odd duck of where it sits at.
Fit in. I enjoyed it though.
No, I didn't dislike it, despite reading the card wrong. But that's my fault. There's nothing wrong with the game.
I would recommend it for those who want to play this style of game, but it's not for me. Let's put it that way. I don't give it a thumbs down as a bad game. I just won't buy it myself.
I think all three of us say that we're thumbs down.
And I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to go out of my way to. I'm not going to go out of my way to play it.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what we're saying. I mean, for us, right? We don't necessarily mean thumb down as in no buy it. Just for where we are at, no, it's not one of our.
Not my style.
But if you're really into these resource gathering,
do they have bags?
Games, this is like a nice new mechanic, a nice new way to do it.
And like I said, the components are actually well done. With the exception of the wall, they still put some effort into making. They could have done all kinds of sorry, you're not getting a guardrail. You're just gonna have to keep them yourself, right? So it's an extra bit.
It's nice.
And they did wash them and do some work with them, so they look like
Here, you want to glue the piece on?
No. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. You have our honest feedback on the game. Give it a shot. Maybe check it out in the your friendly local game stores, rental library if they have it. Make a decision for yourself. But yeah, if you're an advanced gamer, you might not want this. Maybe, I don't know. It depends if you want a light game to play with other people. So, all right, bye guys.